First I'm going to go ahead and I am going to start off by applying my Clinique Universal Face Primer, and I'm going to apply that all over my face. We'll do one light layer before going in with my Maybelline Fit Me foundation in the shade 245. I'm using my Real Techniques Expert Face Brush to really nicely blend the foundation into my skin and make sure that there is an even coverage as always across both sides of the face. This foundation is not a matte finish because Beyonce has quite a nice glowy dewy foundation and highlighter and bronzing look in the video for EXO. She's got a really nice dewy healthy looking glowy skin, and her face is also very heavily bronzed up. So I'm going to recreate it today, and before going in I am going in with my MAC Painterly Paint Pot Primer, and then I'm using Chi Chi's Bronzers palette, and I'm going to go in with the bronze shade and apply that with my Revlon flat shader brush all across the lid. You can use any flat shader brush, of course. I feel like it distributes the pigment evenly, and this is a really lovely palette with really buttery colors that just glide on the lid really beautifully. So I'm going to make sure there's even coverage with that all over the lid, and then I am going to focus the same color in my outer crease area for both eyelids, and this is going to add a slight depth and a little bit of dimension to the eyelids. We want a really subtly bronzed look for the eyes because Beyonce's look isn't too overpowering. She's actually got really nice light makeup on the lids, and she finishes it off with a muted bold lip, and that's what I'm going to try and recreate today. So after focusing it on the corners and building the color up and just blending it in, I'm going to go ahead with my bronzers palette again, and I'm going to grab the really deep eggplanty aubergine shade, and I'm going to focus that just above my upper lash line. So it's kind of as if you were putting on liner, but just with your flat shader brush. So I'm going to use that and just guide the shadow all through the eyelid, and starting from the outer corner inwards is usually easier, but you can also move it back and forth like I'm doing as well. Then I'm going to go in with a fluffy blending brush, and I'm just going to blend that shadow, creating a nice soft look. This is going to blend in with the bronze that I've got on my lid, and then I'm going to go in with the sparkly black shade, which is the last color in the palette, and I'm using a stiff angled liner brush, and I'm going to go and focus that color just touching my upper lash line, and this is going to create a kind of slightly dimensionalized but more enhanced lash line, which is exactly what we want. Beyonce doesn't have a liner in this video. Then I'm going to go ahead with my Lorac Pro Tantalized highlighter and bronzer duo, and I'm taking an angled contour brush or an angled crease brush, whichever you prefer to use it for, and I'm going to take the highlighty shade and guide that through my brow bone. Then I'm going to take the Balm Liquid Time Balm Spot Concealer, and I am going to apply that in a upside down triangle or V motion underneath my eyes, and going down the nose, highlighting the high points of my forehead and the tip of my nose. Then I'm going to go in with a concealer buffer brush, and I am going to blend that and buff it into my skin. Now, one thing about this concealer is it is quite heavy set, so it is kind of a full coverage concealer, and it's very, very creamy. So it is a little bit more kind of browny yellow based. I'm not going to go for a beige based concealer because Beyonce's highlighted look is a little bit more natural, as opposed to, for example, the look she has in Pretty Hurts 2, which is the next video coming up in the series. And I'm actually going to make sure that I'm blending that really evenly, and after I finish doing that, I'm going to go in with the dark purple. It's almost like a magenta shade, but it's more like a dark, like a dark magenta-y shade, using a pencil brush and applying that just below my lash line. You don't want to get it into your eyes. So after using that underneath the lash line, I'm going to enhance my waterline and lash line with my Rimmel Waterproof Kohl Kajal Eyeliner. I absolutely love this stuff. You guys would have seen me mention it in a few favorites videos, and I'm just obsessed. Then I'm going to go in with the Balm's Hot Mama Bronzer. This is a really nice kind of muddy dark bronze color that's excellent for medium to dark skin tones. Even ivory shade skin tones can use this without it looking too muddy or cakey. And I'm going to take it in with the angled contour brush from e.l.f. and I'm going to apply that to contour my face. We're going to do a 3 in E motion, and I'm applying that to the temples, just on the top of my cheekbones, down my nose, and down the jawline. I'm contouring my nose here with an e.l.f. fan brush. And Beyonce, I feel like, has this done in the video. I may be wrong, but it looks like she has her nose contoured, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to apply Benefit's Moonbeam as my highlighter and just blend that into the concealer. I felt as though a cream-based highlighter was perfect to use on top of this heavy set concealer. And I'm blending that in with a concealing buffing brush. Then I'm going to go in with the Base Blush Duo, and I'm using my Real Techniques blush brush, and I'm just going to dab the colour on first because this pigment is heavily concentrated and it's an extremely pigmented blush, and just blend that in on top of the apples of my cheek. I'm then going to glow in with a slightly softer angled liner brush, and I'm using my holy grail product right now for brows. This is the Vincent Longo by Brow Pomade Duo, and I'm going to just fill in my brows really naturally and extend the line to frame my face better. I'm just going to get it as close to Beyonce's as I can get. She's got slightly darker brows in this video, but they are filled in quite naturally, so I'm not going to look for a heavily drawn in look at all. Then I'm going to finish off with some lip balm. I'm using the Hurrah Night Treatment Lip Balm, and I'm going to go in with the Rimmel Scandalize Show Off mascara. I'm going to apply this and just let that sink into my lips, and after I have finished doing both my upper lashes and my bottom lashes, I am going to go in with Max Hug Me, which is a beautiful luster finish lipstick. It's a nice nude, and this is going to create a kind of muted look with the colour that's going to go on top of it, which is Rimmel's Kate Moss lipstick in 107. And then I be smacking my lips together. I don't know why I'm whispering, but yeah, you're all done. I love you like